Dubai show. Today we are joined by Mr. Bhupender Nath, the owner, and his star chef Himanshu Saini, both from Trèsind Studio. Recently, Trèsind Studio earned a well-deserved spot among the world's top 50 restaurants. And of course, they're here with their second Michelin. So we're excited to hear all about their journey and what sets them apart. So welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. How does it feel to be here?
Thank you. It feels really, really great to be here. One of the leading show in Dubai.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the compliment. So how does it feel to be on the list of the top 50 restaurants?
It feels like we are on top of the world.
Amazing.
And being in Dubai, where you see every single thing, ruler wants it to be number one.
Yes.
So it's a little tribute to him that we have also the number one restaurant in Middle East in Dubai.
Amazing. And what's it like to have your second Michelin? How does one do that?
No, it's always, I think, is a big journey. You don't really get a Michelin star like that. So of course it's an effort of not just couple of years. It's probably a reflection of what we have done in the last 10 years, especially in Dubai, and of course the journey of me being a chef from over 15 years, and of course the efforts of my team and the collective effort of the group, because it's not just one restaurant we have in Dubai. We have now 8 restaurants in Dubai, 3 in Mumbai.
Wow.
So it's a big empire he has made in the last 10 years.
We made it together.
Yes.
Amazing. So yes, please tell us, how did you start your business? How did this whole thing come about? Did you guys just meet and then decide, hey, we should start something together, or?
Actually, I met first time with Himanshu in India, and I always had an eye. I'm a kind of a jeweler who looks at it and says that this is supposed to be with me. Then he went to America. He said, sorry, his dream is to be in America. And then from there, he calls me and he says, can I join you? And by then, actually, we both had a similar vision.
Right.
Indian food, we basically looked at it like a normal butter chicken, biryani naan, and we always wanted to create something different. Like I'm a businessman also. I have some other businesses in Africa. And I felt that whenever you want to call for a meeting or a good business dealing, then people are looking at it, hey, let's go XYZ, XYZ. Never Indian restaurant used to come because people felt that this is very greasy, it is too tough, in the dinner we can't digest it. So we had a similar kind of vision that let's create something different. And India is such a big country. A lot of food has not been on the table also. So that is chef's job. He goes, he travels around. He looks at the all local food, like from eastern part of India, north part of India. And that is what his menu is also in Trèsind Studio, which I believe he can explain better what he's running right now in the studio.
Sure, please do.
No, it's at Trèsind Studio, of course, we try to break the common perception of Indian food, is because, as you said, Indian food is perceived to be not very cool in comparison to other cuisines, the popular cuisines, even though Indian food is also quite popular in Dubai, but we haven't seen in last 10 years the progression, the evolution of Indian food. And I think that is something which our group has brought in the region. First of all, it's called passion. So you can imagine why he named it passion, because the first priority is to work with passion. You know, I think that is where you can bring your best. And I think from one restaurant from 2014 to many restaurants now, I think we have Indian restaurant in every genre. So if you want to do a premium fine dining, you go to Trèsind Studio. If you want to do a family night with Indian food, you go to Trèsind. Then Carnival, which is, as the name says, is like fun with friends, and you go after work for a drink or a bite. And then we have a curry house at Souk Al Bahar called Maison de Curry. So we have Indian restaurants in every genre. So I think probably the biggest group of Indian restaurants in Dubai. And talking about Trèsind Studio, I think it's a menu which talks about the history, the geography, the landscape of our country. So we divide the menu into 4 macro regions, which is Thar Desert, Deccan Plateau, Coastal Plains, Northern Plains, and Himalayan Mountains. So it is like 4 small menu within a big menu. So with every region, we serve you 5 dishes, like a snack, a entree, a main course, a dessert. And I think it's not just about serving dishes on food, which is of course has to be tasty, but then people have misconceptions about Indian food. Usually Indian food which is popular out of India is North Indian food.
Yes.
And then if you ask any person like not from India to name 5 Indian dishes, we all know what 5 dishes
Butter chicken biryani.
they're going to talk about. But Indian food is not just about that. When you travel in our country, every 200 kilometers, cuisine changes, style of cooking changes, language changes, dialect changes. So Indian food has so much to offer, but the depth of it has not been explored, and I think we've still not done enough to our cuisine. And I think it's a bright moment for our cuisine also, because it's not just us. Around the world, there's a global voice around Indian food. And I think in the next 5 years, you will hear more about Indian chefs, Indian restaurants doing well on the global platforms.
Amazing.
Just to add also that we have another restaurant called Avatara, which is one Michelin star.
Yes.
And it is vegetarian and vegan. And the only restaurant in the world which serves vegetarian vegan has one Michelin. So as you rightfully said, just to add that we are creating a lot, and we are letting people know that Indian food is not just about butter chicken, garlic, and kebabs.
We do have that also.
We do have.
Of course, you have to have that. But I think it's a very interesting. It's like your restaurant, your unique concepts. First of all, I love the idea that you cater to every kind of need with your different concepts. And also the fact that you're not only focused on the north, because that is an issue I personally face. Every time I go out and I want to treat someone to Indian food, as someone who's from the south, I want to show them South Indian food. But like all the fancy North Indian restaurants, all the fancy Indian restaurants are only about North Indian food. It's the thali or something like that. So speaking of South Indian food though, there's recently been a dish of yours that's gone pretty viral, which is the sadhya.
Yes.
So the sadhya, if you don't know, is a big dish of
25 dishes.
25
it's
dishes.
Like a feast, which is done to honor the festival of Onam, and it's all about celebrating the first harvest of the season. And of course, it's a dish which is about sadhya, but we always mention that it's inspired from sadhya. It's not the actual sadhya. And we take inspiration in the sense that we know it's a feast and it has 25 dishes which are served one by one. It has pickles, papadam, curry, rice, and even paisam as a dessert. It serves on a big banana leaf. And because I've eaten it myself, I have a lot of friends, and I know that when you eat sadhya and you mix everything, because everything is so tiny portion, you end up mixing the pickle with the rice or the sambar or the rasam.
That's how you should eat it. It's a beautiful fusion.
So you're exploring different combination of flavors. You're exploring different textures. You're exploring different temperatures also at the same time. For me, it's an amazing experience. It's a kind of a feast which is something you won't get it anywhere. First thing, and the second thing is that it is something which a lot of people out of India is not aware about. So even though we say it's sadhya, but it's inspired from sadhya, we have no intention to make anyone feel offended with it.
Also, just for those who haven't seen this video, can you explain what this dish is all about?
So as I said, we say it's inspiration sadhya, which is one of the courses in our menu, and it's served at the 10th position. It's a 20-course menu. So we serve somewhere in the middle, because we serve it as a course which is not even savory or not sweet. It's somewhere lying in the middle. As a dessert or not a dessert, it's a savory. So just to have a break in the middle of a long meal. And in this case, we explain the concept of the dish, and then every kitchen chef comes and they serve an ingredient on your plate to make a composition of a dish which is inspired from sadhya. But of course, when people see it on internet, they always take it out of context. And it is not just now; it's been viral from last 1 year. Initially, it of course makes you feel sad that people without experiencing it has so much to say about it. I know there's an emotional connect of so many people, so many memories and families, experiencing, celebrating Sadhya and Onam every year. But of course, my intention is not to dilute anything from it. It's just by doing this, all our guests get so fascinated with the story, with the dish, that they go themselves and they look upon it, So it's something with a small effort, you tell other people that Indian food is not just about butter chicken, and as we said, it's not just about dal makhani and all of that. We have things like that. There is so much science and application to a meal of sadhya that we are so proud to tell. Of course, we can't just serve the sadhya on its own, otherwise it's just a meal on its own.
Right.
So it's a small course, and then people make fun of it. They think that we are making fun of it, but it's something which is, I think, has taken just a bit out of context.
This has completely changed my perspective, for example, because I am realizing now that you're essentially trying to invite people to try the real sadhya. So it's like a gateway to the real sadhya. You're enticing them with a small bite.
And I have seen, trust me, I'm not joking about it, I've seen people crying over that dish. I've seen even South Indians shedding a tear on it. So it's just that when you see something from distance, you don't understand the context of it. You think that a restaurant is trying to dilute the culture and tradition. But at the same time, I always have an argument when someone comes and question the evolution of Indian food, which we say progressive Indian or modern Indian, in that sense that I am talking to you in English, which is not a native Indian language.
Right.
I am dressing up not as a traditional Indian. But then why people expect food to be that traditional? Why can't food be crossing that boundaries? We have...
It should.
We have progressed ourselves in every sense in our lifestyle, in how we talk, in how we speak, in the accent we take on. When we go to Europe, but in the sense we take inspiration from other cultures in every sense. But when it comes to food, you expect you to stick with your roots, and I think it's something which every cuisine which is upcoming and trending faces this kind of challenges, because people sometimes are not ready to accept change in their lives. And again, I'm saying that it is nothing to do with sentiments of people. It has nothing to do with Onam or the festival or the boundaries of it. It is just, as you said rightly, it's a gateway for people to explore more about Indian food, because they get fascinated so much. They get to see a dish plated in front of them. There is, by the way, a Turkish stand-up comedian who made a spoof on this video. So it's something which we see it so often, and people, without realizing that it is our restaurant, they come, and when they're experiencing this dish, they said, okay, we have seen something like this on internet.
Wow.
So it just connects dot. It makes me happy, it makes me sad, but I think that's part of life.
I think you should be happy because people are talking about it, good or
100%.
bad. At least people, when they talk about it, means there is something about it, right?
Yes. Oh, really highlighting your business sense of here.
No, but only things are spoken when they are popular, right?
100%.
And you take
the
it in
fact
a
that
positive
this
way.
dish has ruffled feathers is a good thing. It's a great thing.
Chef Massimo Bottura, who's the best chef in the world, he dined with us a couple of times, and when he was dining with us for the first time, and he felt the same, because he was seeing Indian food as he has never seen before, and he stood up and he spoke to another table on his own, and he said, and he asked the most elderly person on the other table, and he said, for you, is it Indian food? And the grandma says, no, it's not Indian food. And Chef Massimo was so passionate about it, and he said, no, you must open your mind, you must accept he's trying to do something different with Indian food, which is making it have a global voice. And I think with